Hey everyone, it's Nelson Miller here with PA Creative. Welcome to another documentation video for the Divi events calendar. In this video, we're looking at the events calendar module and specifically looking at all of the content related settings and features in the module. All right, let's take a look here. So we're going to just add a new module to our page. So we're just going to type in events and then click on events calendar. And when we're speaking of content related things, they're all going to be on this first tab, the content tab, right? And then the obvious place would be in the content toggle. Now there's more content related things down through here, but we're just going to talk mostly about the items in this content toggle here at the beginning. So here is our calendar. We have some events already showing up, things like that. You can see some of the styling that's here by default and all of that. So let's just take a look at the settings. The first one is called dynamic events. And just a reminder, every one of these settings has this little question mark. You can pop that down and just get a good idea of what it does by reading that. So like here it says, it's pulling in dynamic content. You would use this in a theme builder template. Okay, so you would want to use, anytime you're using dynamic content like this in any of our modules, it would be in the theme builder. You wouldn't just do it on a regular page. So like for this example, you could put it as your events archive page. That would be the most logical place to put it. The page that's like, yourdomain.com/events, right? So you would build a Divi theme builder template for it. Here, let me show you. So you go to theme builder, and then I probably already have one in here. Yeah, events archive page. So you'd want to make sure when you go in here, events archive page, and then you would go in here and add the module. Now that wouldn't necessarily apply for dynamic content unless you were using it on a category page, a category template, I'm sorry. So this one you would just put the module, that'd be fine. But like, where is it? Right here, all event category pages and then tag pages. So this is where dynamic content would really come in. It wouldn't matter which category or tag for the events that someone clicked on. If you had that turned on right here, like I do, it will always show accurately. Like whatever your categories are, whether it's a music category, they click on that, boom, it's always going to populate correctly these events because that's turned on. So there you go. The next setting is just categories, and it's called included categories. Without any of them selected, all events in all event categories are going to show up in your calendar. So when there's none checked, that's considered all of them, right? Now, if you want to start limiting it, you only want music or anything in the races category, only virtual events. Again, these are actually they're not and statements, they're or statements. So like an event doesn't have to be in all three of those categories. An event just has to be in one of those that you're checking here for it to show up. So here you can see one that's probably in music, right? So if I turn that off, let's see. Yeah, I had that one in music. So there you go. Pretty simple, just choosing if you only wanted to show like one category or two or whatever for this particular page, whatever the reason, that's how you would do it. The next one is only show featured events. And this one is a feature in the events calendar where when you're editing an event, and I'll just show you, I'll click on a random one here. Down here on the side, they have this feature event check mark. I don't know why that one goes on, but feature event. And we added support in version 2.1 of our plugin for their feature there. So if that was turned on and that was updated and everything, and then back in here, where are we? Right here, I'll have to refresh the page. So if I turn on only show featured events, I think that's the only one that I have that selected on. There it is. Now, I personally would not do this. It's there because you may already have been using that feature in the events calendar. I personally would use a category. I would just make a category, an event category called featured events, and just use it that way. It'd be a lot easier. You're gonna have a lot more options. Unfortunately, it's impossible for us to mix featured events and treat it as a category, so it's either one or the other. And again, the word only it will only show them in this particular category. So I'll turn that off. Now, the same day event order, that can be a little confusing. Like, what's that mean? Basically, I have an example where there's 2 events right here. Now, there are 4 options, believe it or not. There's 4 options. For, like, if you have multiple events in the same day, well, who decides which one comes first? Do you base it on the event title, on the start time, on how long it lasts, that kind of thing? Because before there was no option. We've added this in 2.1. So by default, it's on start time. And you can see right here, the 8 a.m. one is above the 11 a.m. start time. Now, the first event goes longer, right? See how it's 8 a.m. to 5, where this is 11 to 2. So, duration, I guess it would still, well, yeah, it would still apply. It would still be first because of duration. Now, if I change this one to be like longer, then that would go first. So it's choosing which one is first from top to bottom. Now, I don't have any all day events, but you could choose like the dates that are events that are all day. You could put first, and then title. That was not changing it. That's a bad example. But if it was the opposite, C becomes before M. I guess in my example here, all 3 were correct, but you get the idea. That setting is for that. Now, the last one here, show recurring events. This is only for the Events Calendar Pro version. So we're slowly adding support for like things in the Pro version. Our plugin was originally meant for the free version, but the Pro version has something called recurring events. Like, let's say you have a meeting every Monday at 1 p.m., and you want it on your calendar. It'll show up. So like you could turn on show recurring events, and then they'll show up. All right, I'll just go ahead and make a recurring event, and I'll just actually call it recurring event because, why not make it easy? And here's where that kind of comes in. Like you choose your normal start and end day, and this is new here. So like, let's say I want weekly, like my example. All right, so the series ends on, obviously I have to choose somewhere in the future for when I'm recording this. Otherwise it won't put it anywhere. Now, did that generate all my events? I'll just search for recurring there. Okay, so it did. It generated all of these. Now, if I was on the calendar, I'll be able to see them. Let's see. Actually, did I have it turned on? I may not have actually turned it on. Let me just click on here. Yeah. Okay, so watch this. When I go back in to here and save recurring, because I didn't have it turned on that demo there. So now, look at that, recurring event, and then let's go to the next month, recurring event. See how they show up? So that would be an option as well if you're using that, and you can turn that on and off. All right, so that pretty much covers the content related things, and it's pretty simple, but we're gonna have some other videos like on the views and the tooltip there and other design settings and things like that. So be sure to check out our other videos here in the documentation area to see about all the different modules and all the settings related to the plugin.